Okay, so let's drill down a little on what's at stake in Canada if Line 5 is forced to shut down. 30,000 jobs are on the line in this country, and a lot of those jobs are in the border city of Sarnia, Ontario. Mike Bradley is the mayor of Sarnia, and he's with me now. Mayor Bradley, first of all, thanks for taking time to speak with me. Let's start with the news today that the federal government has joined the legal battle now to keep Line 5 from being shut down. You've been asking for the federal government to intervene in all of this. What's your reaction to the move they've made today?
Well, it's a very positive move that I've been dealing with the last number of months with Seamus O'Regan, the Natural Resources Minister, and he's been keeping myself and through me, the community, up to date. So it's down to the wire, but this was anticipated, and it is a most welcome step because it brings the resources we need of the federal government to the courts. But more importantly, I think it also sends a clear message to Michigan and to Washington that how important this line is to Canadians.
The threat of this shutdown goes back to an election promise from the Michigan governor last fall that she placed this order on Enbridge to shut down as of midnight tomorrow. Do you believe the Canadian government responded quickly enough to that threat? Tell me about that.
Well, I'm not going to second guess them. I will say this, prior to Christmas, in this community, we couldn't get any traction on trying to get other groups interested in this issue. And after Christmas, it started to formulate as a national issue. We got the Canadian Chamber of Commerce, we got labor unions, we've got a number of other significant groups involved. And the province and the federal government were doing their normal dance of back and forth about who was responsible. But out of that came a fairly strong coalition. And it was absolutely amazing last Thursday night to see in the House of Commons an emergency debate on a pipeline with all the major parties except the Green united on the pipeline. Never mind about who should have done what when, supporting this pipeline. Given the pipeline history in this country, that was stunning. But it also showed how the message had gotten across both to the province and the federal government. When it's all said and done, this is a federal responsibility. And they have stepped up now with this legal brief, which I think will have a huge impact on trying to change the decision of the Michigan governor.
All right. Tell me what effect you think it'll have.
Well, first of all, the message to Washington. Washington has been pretty silent on this issue. Mm-hmm. And this is at the end game. If it doesn't work with mediation, which Enbridge and the state of Michigan's in right now, it's going to have to be a political decision. And it's going to have to be at the level of Justin Trudeau and Joe Biden. And if you think about it, as a border city mayor, we went through the 4 years of the Donald Trump hell. And, the way Canadian government was treated, the way Canadians were treated. And we thought we were coming to a brighter day with the election of Biden. So this is Keystone was a pipeline that hadn't moved forward. This is a key signal from the Biden administration, if they don't step up or they support the governor of Michigan, that this next 4 years could be very difficult for Canadians from a Democratic administration.
Sure. What's at stake for your city if Line 5 were to shut down and perhaps as early as tomorrow?
Well, the direct job impact is said to be 3,000 to 5,000 jobs. So we're talking well-paying jobs that have been in this community a long time. The other jobs, this is jobs in Alberta, it's jobs in Ontario, it's jobs in Quebec. The cost of propane and gasoline will skyrocket for everyone in Eastern Canada. This is the part that I find, Peter, so contradictory. There will be many more trucks on the road to carry this product, many more rail cars, and we know how, unfortunately, that's worked out in Canada. More barges on the St. Clair River and on the Lake Huron and Lake Michigan. So how is that environmentally friendly? The answer is it's not. So the consequences are huge. I do believe the May 12th date is somewhat artificial. The governor doesn't really have the power unless she's going to go into the courts to immediately shut it down. I would hope that would not happen when there's mediation. And I would hope the message from the Canadian government to the Michigan government and to the government in Washington is, what are you doing? It's not just this pipeline. It is, what are you doing to the relationship? There's $90 billion in trade that goes back and forth between Ontario and Michigan every year. Sarnia has the second busiest border crossing, the biggest rail tunnel. And what does the governor think she's accomplishing in all these other sectors? And as we come out of COVID, how is the relationship going to work when the governor of Michigan doesn't give a damn about Ontario or Canada?
Tell me more about that. How worried are you that the pipeline will actually shut down tomorrow? And if not tomorrow, maybe soon. I guess in that same we know there are lots of groups on both sides of the border, environmental groups, Indigenous groups that are opposed to it. Now that this process is underway and in the spotlight, how concerned are you that the pipeline, could somehow be, if it's not closed down tomorrow, could somehow be disrupted now that there's this inertia, at least to some extent, to try and have it shut down?
Well, Peter, I'm just worried this is going to drag on for months and perhaps years. It's already brought a great deal of anxiety to this community. It also impacts on investment in this region. And so that's the bigger concern. What is the governor going to do tomorrow? Because I don't think literally, unless she's going to go out there and turn the device on the pipeline to shut it, it's going to happen. But then what's going to go on for the next number of months? And again, I speak to you as a border city mayor that's had a good relationship with Michigan and Michigan governors in the past. And we've got this almost trying to start another War of 1812 tactic by this governor that is having a tremendously negative impact on our relationship. And then for the next 6 months or a year, how long do we wait to find out what the solution is to Line 5? The former governor of Michigan accepted the solution, which was $600 million to be spent in that one portion of the Great Lakes, to put it in concrete and to protect it. And that plan can start immediately if the Michigan governor would accept it.
How do you think the federal government should respond? I mean, there will be this ongoing, perhaps ongoing mediation, perhaps ongoing legal battle, perhaps ongoing diplomatic discussions about this. But how do you think the federal government should respond if, in the near term here, she finds a way, the governor does, to shut the pipeline down?
Well, I couldn't even imagine that scenario. If that's the case, the federal government is going to have to throw the playbook out about dealing with the Joe Biden administration and look at retaliatory action, which I don't think benefits anyone. Because again, we're talking about immediate increase in the cost of fuel for Canadians. We're talking about environmental disruption with more traffic, rail and trucks. We're talking about a huge negative impact on our relationship. And the Minister of Natural Resources made it clear, this is non-negotiable on this line. So if that doesn't work, and it actually shut down, it will be economic chaos. I mean, we've just seen by pure coincidence what happened in the United States when there was a pipeline disruption of great significance with cyber attacks. And that's the same scenario that could occur here, ironically, right away. That all of a sudden, you've got this huge problem with Canadians trying to function in their daily living because of this pipeline being shut.
All right. Sarnia Mayor Mike Bradley. Thanks for your perspective, Mayor Bradley, and we'll see what happens. We'll continue to watch. Good to talk to you. Take care.
Thank you very much.